We are live. Today is Thursday, 27th of November. This is also the daily Scrum. Here is Alex, Nick, Robbie, Lee, and me. And well, Nick, let's start with you.
Sure. I did some code review today. I left some comments on Robbie's pull request and also on Brian's. I thought I would take a look at Craig's pull request number 179, but it's just too gigantic for. I didn't feel like I could handle it today, so that's left for later. I think I've moved that story on Jira. Yeah, I can't remember if I mentioned it in yesterday's Scrum, that the client has accepted Brian's story, the sorting and filtering of orphans. They've raised, it was Ahmed that I was talking to, he has raised a concern that with so much information displayed on the screen, the user has to scroll sideways to be able to see it all. And we agreed that it's not optimum for the time being, but at the same time we agreed that this is something that can wait. They'll use the application a bit more, get a feel for what kind of information they need on that screen, what kind they can do without, and then once the application is in production, we can talk about solutions and alternatives. And I think that's all I have to say. I worked a little bit today on my story, which is checking that the orphans that are being imported into the application are unique in the database. But I think I need to talk to Craig again to see, or at least look at his pull request in a bit more detail, because there might be some overlapping functionality there that we need to make sure that I don't repeat the work that he's done. And that's it for me.
Alex?
Good evening. Hello, everyone. Last time I just had a look at making a plan on how I was going to implement, making sure I have a consistent menu. I ended up not doing my implementation today because I just branched off develop, and the orphan list, I had a number of feature specs that were actually failing, so I wasn't sure if it is in a stable condition or not. And I was also struggling to replicate the bug as Nick had presented it to me the last time I picked the story. So maybe just after the Scrum, I might just have to chat to Nick to see if I can still be able to replicate that bug.
Yeah, sure, Alex. Yeah, in fact, it looks at this point that story that we discussed, it might not be necessary anymore, because in the meantime, the team has made the decision to move away from active admin. And so, since this bug is within active admin, now that we're going to make our views by hand, we can just make them as we like them.
The better.
Nick, who's moved the story to sprint?
Who's moved that story to the sprint?
Yeah.
Alex's story, you mean?
Yeah. I think I was allocated that story before the sprint actually started. So when I started working on it, I'd actually put it in here.
No, you didn't, because when I planned the sprint, I didn't add this story. Somehow.
But Alex, you're saying that when you started working on it, you put it in progress?
Yeah, because it was still on the backlog when I had my name allocated to it. Yeah.
So you moved it to sprint and then started working on it. Am I correct?
Yeah.
But yeah, in fact, I think we might end up closing that story altogether.
You shouldn't move it into sprint. I can see assign open progress. Yeah, you moved it. No, you shouldn't. You could just take it in progress, but without putting it into sprint, because when you put it into the sprint, it affects our graph, our chart, and it's like a change of scope. But we haven't changed the scope yet. But okay, it's for the future. When the story after sprint started, when we story in backlog, it is the team decision to put it or not into backlog, even if someone worked on it. Okay? Alex?
Hello?
Have you understood what I said? Alex?
Pardon, Pavel, I can hardly hear you.
Oh. Nick, have you heard me now?
It's pretty quiet, but if I understand, Pavel, you're saying that he could have started working on it without adding it to the sprint?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. Yeah.
Because when you add a story to the sprint, you affect our sprint scope without the team. And when we start the sprint, we shouldn't make changes into it, especially about the stories, because for now we maybe even stop his story and it affects our burn down chart, so we want to be like transparent. So you can when you work on something, you can put into progress, but shouldn't put it into the board if it wasn't there. But it's okay. It's just how we should work in the future. Okay? Or is it still so quiet?
It's better now.
Oh, okay. Okay. Liv? Liv, can you talk?
Oh yes, definitely I can talk. You're quiet. Your voice is very far away. Yes, I can talk. I am here because I wanted to go over that functionality with Nick. That was the main reason I'm here. I have not been able to meet or speak with Mortasem. So I don't know at this point. I'm sort of wondering if I should perhaps take another swap out the story, because OSRA 225 depends on my speaking with Mortasem and figuring out the Excel spreadsheet. So perhaps I should take another smaller story that does not depend on my doing that, just so I can actually, get something going. What do you think about that? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
Definitely, that should happen because, in fact, Morrisum, he told us that he is so busy right now that he cannot continue with the story in a timely fashion, so he's given up control of it, and
Okay.
it will be principally Craig, possibly myself to some extent, who will continue on it. So
I just need some direction because I'm new and I just want a small story. I think you all know that what my limitations are, because I'm able to meet once a week, Tuesdays for sure. I'm committed to that. So I need a small story. I just want to see the functionality and I can start coding. And, I'm reading Slack every day. I just kind of want something to start with. So what do you think?
That story, again, going back to the one that Morrison was working on, it wouldn't be a good one.
Okay.
In the beginning, maybe it would have been okay, but right now, with Craig taking it over, he's kind of rolling it into the story that he was working on, which was refactoring of the entire orphan importer. So it would be difficult to do something small in isolation.
Got it. Now, I don't have to do something small in isolation I can perhaps partner with somebody or watch someone, or if I'm just trying to figure out where I can fit in easily, given my schedule and my time zone. Is there anything else you would suggest? I mean, is there something that might be better than my taking a small story in isolation?
If Brian is around, I don't want to speak for him, but he seems. Well, first of all, he's much closer to your time zone. Second of all, he has been one of the few people from the team in recent past who's actually been able to pair.
Okay.
So, and he has quite a number of different chores assigned to him for the sprint. Some of them, I think, would be very suitable for an introduction to the project.
Awesome. That would be awesome.
Yeah. So it's unfortunate that he's not here today. If you can reach out to him, again on Slack, just in our public channel on Slack.
Now, which Brian is this?
This is the B264 Brian.
B264 is his nickname?
Yeah, it's I think the B264 if I remember correctly.
Because I haven't seen that in the OSRA channel. That's why I'm asking.
No, sorry, it's just B264. That's what it is.
B264. Okay, so I'll reach out to him. And what is it that he's working on?
So if you go to our Jira board,
I'm on it right now.
Yeah. So his is the interesting cartoony face.
Interesting cartoony face.
So
Oh,
262,
yeah, okay.
263,
Okay.
239, 265, these are all his.
Got it. Okay. And where is he located? Is he in Canada?
No, for some reason, I think that he's in St. Louis.
St. Louis, Missouri.
To the best of my knowledge, but
Okay.
I know that I think he's in the central time zone.
Okay, he's in the U.S. That's good enough. Awesome. So maybe I'll reach out to him. I just, like I said, I haven't officially been introduced to the, to the application. I've set it up. I'm not quite sure how to use it on my own without knowing how those Excel spreadsheets work, because it looks like it's all based on Excel, importing data. That's what it does.
Well, that's the crux of it, sure.
Yeah.
We can do a quick walkthrough tonight.
That's it. That's all.
Yeah.
I just want something to start working on once I figure out how it works, but it'd probably be best if I maybe work with someone or do a part with someone. I want to make sure I've got your coding standards down.
Yeah, I think Brian's going to be a really good guy for that.
Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Terrific. Pavel, I couldn't hear that. Can you repeat? Sorry, your sound is really bad for me. Can Robbie, Alex... I'm having trouble hearing Pavel. Anybody else?
I can't hear him as well.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's hope Pavel comes back. Robbie, would you like to tell us what you've been working on in the meantime? No, it's still bad, Pavel. Okay. Okay, so Robbie, can you speak? Robbie? I can't hear him either. Can anybody hear me right now?
I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Okay, so it seems that we've lost Robbie then. Okay. If Robbie comes back, then perhaps we can go back to him. In the meantime, Alex, let's have a quick look at your issue, and then Viv, maybe I can demo the application. Does that sound okay?
Sounds good.
Okay.
Based on the discussion that we just had, if we are dumping active admin,
Yeah.
maybe isn't it wiser to just pick another story? Because if we are writing the views on our own, I don't think we still have that issue.
That's precisely the point. Yeah. Basically, I think. So what's happened was we decided to remove active admin, and of course this will have to be done gradually because it's such an integral part of the application right now. Brian told us yesterday that he already started refactoring. He took the simplest view from the application and recreated it from scratch with standard controller and views.
I paired with him in one session when he was doing that. So.
Okay, great. Okay.
I have an idea of what was happening there.
Okay. So his thought was that because it was going fairly smoothly, that this orphan list view that we've talked about could simply be the next one to get refactored. So that will be the one that gets taken out of active admin, and in the same at the same time that bug of those of the navigation menu is going to be taken care of.
Definitely.
Okay, so I think OSRA 119, we're just going to close it, and so I'm looking at our board. There are still 3 chores that are in the current sprint that are unassigned.
Nick, share your screen, man.
Now we can hear you better.
Oh, that's great. Something has happened. Change in headphones. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, right?
It's much better than it was before.
No. Right. Anyway, share your screen.
Yeah. Okay. So looking at our Jira board, there are still 3 chores that don't have anybody assigned to them. One is this OSRA 258, which is refactoring of Cucumber steps. This is kind of open-ended. You can spend a lot of time working on this. So I don't know. It depends on how comfortable you are with Cucumber and how familiar you are with our Cucumber test suite.
I can take that.
Yeah.
Don't mind. Yeah.
Okay, so there is one option. The other one is this one right here, move inappropriate code out of config settings YAML. I don't know if, Alex, you were present for those discussions where we said that some of the settings that we're currently using, they get stuck into that file, but they probably shouldn't be there.
Yeah, well, I think I wasn't part of the discussion. I think I'll just pick the refactoring and start with that.
Okay, so it sounds good. It was me who wrote this story, so I was the one who initially had some ideas about what needs to be done. If there's nothing clear that jumps out at you that needs to be refactored, then please reach out to me, and I'll tell you at least what my thoughts were originally.
No worries, I'll definitely do that.
Okay, terrific. So let's assign this to you.
I've just done that.
Yeah, even better. Okay, great. So now you have something to sink your teeth into. And OSRA 119, I suppose I'll just move it to done, just to get it off our board.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay. Is Robbie still there by any chance? Or again there? No. Okay, No, Robbie, sorry, we can't. I cannot hear you. Can anybody else?
I can't hear him as well.
I can't hear him.
Okay, let's wait for him to reconnect.
What are you going to do about the other 2 stories that are unassigned, Nick?
They'll be first come, first serve. People have work to do at the moment. I suppose whenever somebody feels that they can take on an extra story, they're free to it.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Very, very quietly, Robbie.
Okay.
Very faint.
Bit of an improvement, is it no?
Sorry, I'm really having trouble hearing you.
See if I can check the.
Can you turn up your volume, Robbie?
Yeah, the microphone's fully up. I'm not sure what's wrong with it.
Hmm.
No improvement, no? No.
Nick, what about if he just does text chat? Because he can type in it. What about that for now?
Okay, let's wrap up the Scrum then. So Robbie, can you just quickly type to let the group know what you did today? All right. So Robbie's been working on the story OSRA 241, validate minor siblings. So there was just a logical inconsistency where an orphan could have more minor siblings who are sponsored than the total number of minor siblings. Yeah, so there simply was not a validation in place for that. And in fact, it turned out that our fixture file that we were using had that error in it. So this wasn't something that was specifically requested by the client. It was just something that we caught in the process, and Robbie was working on that. Okay. So yeah, there is, at the present moment, there is a problem with the pull request where there are a bunch of commits that shouldn't be there. So we were hoping to maybe have a look at that tonight, but if we're having issues with sound, maybe that'll have to wait. And then, right, the other story that Robbie took was it the organizations? Is that what I saw? I'm sorry. Organizations, yes. So we can actually reassign that to Robbie. And this is in progress, I understand, so we can put it in here. Okay. So, yeah, unfortunately, it's difficult for us to discuss anything. Yeah, I'm still having trouble hearing you. So, let's try to talk on chat, Robbie, if there is anything that we can do there meaningfully, and if not, maybe this will have to wait until a future hangout. Okay, that sounds good. Does anybody else have anything else to talk about in the Scrum? No? Pavel, anything else to add?
No. No.
Okay. So,
Yeah. Thank you.
yeah, let's end the recording and then